The BinckBank Tour, not the best weather conditions despite some brightness at the beginning of the day. Yes, it was turned out to be rather glum. In fact, in more ways than one, black and blue for some, I can tell you. The Golden Kilometre, something that defines this race and something to look forward to, as well as 3 laps of a circuit that was getting increasingly damp as the day wore on. Some real pinch points out there as well, and 2 riders in the break, Ludwig Robit and Timo Willems. They were soon, however, to be wound in by a peloton that were determined to have some of the spoils on the day. Ludwig Robit it was that took the first of the 2 checkpoint sprints, and as the pack started to wind them in, real estate was at a premium. Road space there was none, and plenty of riders took themselves more than a bump and a bruise. It was to get a little bit worse than that later on. 23 kilometres from home, and Sepp van Mark, an eternal bridesmaid, decided that if he was going to go long, he might have some fun. Looking for bonus seconds, 3 sprints compressed into a golden kilometre, offering up 9 seconds to the lucky, or indeed the brave. Didn't quite work out, and as the sprint started to ring in, the bonus seconds started to stack up. Mathieu van der Poel taking 3 at the first time of asking. Dries de Bont, the new Belgian champion, taking over, but pipped by Jumbo-Visma's Mike Turnison, and Yves Lampaert it was then who would decide to help himself from De Koenig Quickstep, pulling through for the 3rd sprint. Incidentally, Mark Cavendish as well picking up bonus seconds. Good to see the Manxman with a feisty regard for what might be. Any seconds gained in that golden kilometre were to prove to be extremely useful. Armand Grondahl Janssen and Adrien Petit had clipped off the front at the bell with 1 lap remaining. These 3 laps indeed of the circuit at 15.6 kilometres each, and it was to turn out to be rather significant. Not their move, but the fact that the peloton was so locked together, and touches of wheels were always something that may well happen. Milan Menton of Sport Vlaanderen and Belloise went off for the 2nd of the Super 8s, and in so doing broke the hearts of the 2 breakaway men who'd done much of the work. He it was that would lead that competition and find himself on the podium at the end of the day. Sean de Bie out to sting. He can do on occasion, but in this company, would he have any luck? Bad fortune it was for Guillaume Boivin of Israel Startup Nation, sitting in the middle of the road and collecting a whole raft of favourites for the race. 4.3 kilometres from home meant that as the race was already on, you can see the ticker was ticking down for those who'd made it through the block. Everybody who was caught behind it would pick up big time on the day, time penalties you might say. Well, it left a very select group to go for the final sprint. Favourite had to be Ackermann, and with a lead-out man looking very, very confident, would it be him? Well, we had to wait until the last 100 metres before the day's winner made his move, and it was a very clever move by Jesper Philipsen. Well, they were still sorting themselves out. Danny van Poppel of Circus Wanty thought that he might have an option. He went first, marked out by Ackermann, but then this. Jesper Philipsen showed his nose when he needed to and stole the day. Mads Pedersen getting up for 2nd place, and Pascal Ackermann, the out-and-out favourite, had to be content with 3rd. What a dramatic day, and what a winner. Jesper Philipsen timing it to perfection and taking the day and the lead of the race. Well, those that were caught out in the crash really have an awful lot to account for. Bit of bad luck, you might say, but the brave and the sensible were out front. Jesper Philipsen was that man. A modest margin, but a handsome one. And when you factor in the bonus seconds, then he is our leader. Well, bad news for those who are hoping to not only get something out of this race, but deeper into the classics as they come. And Ollie Naesen, perhaps the biggest casualty on the day. Jesper Philipsen leads the BinckBank Tour with the time trial to come tomorrow. A great leader indeed. Gets himself a tricycle as well to play with. That's his winning margin. Mark Cavendish, with the bonus seconds picked up out on the road in the golden kilometre, finds himself in the top 10.